Okay, so personal development and relationship problems. It is actually a very sensitive and big topic in personal development world, because normally what happens, as we discussed, when one person starts on any kind of spiritual quest, personal development journey, what happens, they almost live in this pool where they belonged together with their partner, together with their friends, together with their family, together with their country of origin, together with whatever background, professional background indeed, whatever background they had. It's almost like you are living that, and you're living that not because you decided that, yeah, life was already very good, and then suddenly for fun you decided to go there. No. Normally, we have this period, preceding period of wobbles and unhappiness and searching and finding things and looking into different options and finally choosing this one path. For somebody, it could be yoga. For somebody, it could be meditation. For somebody, it could be chiropractic. For somebody, it could be talking therapy. What happens is that we start to change, we start to transform, and the other person might or might not go with us. Our former professional circle of friend circles, they might not go with us, and very often in a little while we find ourselves a little lonely on this path. Now then we start panicking and saying, oh, I'm really liking these things and I'm really into it and I like this emerging new version of myself, but I don't recognize the scenery any longer. This is like totally uncharted waters. I don't know what to expect. And we start panicking. And very often we start thinking, okay, maybe I can adjust myself. Maybe I can go back a little bit. Maybe I can talk a little differently, like the way I talked in the past. And that can bring enormous internal conflict, because what is in fact happening, we are embarking on the spiritual quest to personal development path because we want to be closer to ourselves. This is the only reason. This is the only reason why we do it. The formal reasons, the formal trigger could be physical illness, could be emotional happiness, could be indeed relationship problem. But basically, we want to figure out who we are and where we are going. And there is a saying, I cannot tell you who said that first, but obviously this was a very wise person. There is a saying that there are only two questions in life. One question is where I'm going, and the other question is who is going with me. And don't you ever mix places. So first, where I'm going, and second, who is going with me. Now imagine you are in a relationship, you're in a stable relationship, which started some while ago, and in the beginning, this was promising, and you were happy, and then for whatever reason, you started on this quest. And relationship problem might well be one of the reasons. And the other person is obviously happy with the current version or previous version or original version of how relationship started. And there are several things here. So first, we already discussed there is this internal conflict. We are becoming more ourselves with each day, with each meditation or exercise. We can becoming more and more in tune with who we are and what we need and where we need to go. And every step in this direction we take is taking us away from this now frozen in time structure of original relationship. Because everything develops, nothing stays static, or everything should develop. And in flow of time, relationship should have certain dynamic. So there is no going back. And this is something that is important to understand why there is no going back. Because at some point we can decide, no, I'm going back. I'm going to back because basically this is all good, but relationship is really more important to me. The problem is we always start on our quest to search for ourselves and on our path to whatever we need to be contributing in this lifetime to the bigger whole, because this was in alignment with some bigger picture. So we didn't quite start the quest on our own volition. We did, and we didn't. Because we thought we did, because we are unhappy, we were not healthy, we were not fulfilled, and so on. Basically, nothing happens consistently if we are not in alignment with the general flow of energy, flow of events. We can talk about family dynamics. We can talk about general flow of things in the universe. We can talk about professional journey. For everyone, spiritual journey. For some people, it's very intuitive. For some people, they don't even register that this could be a fact, that we are basically getting more in alignment with something bigger than ourselves. And so our little individual happiness, or our little individual rather convenience, and us being settled in no matter how fulfilling version of relationship, clashes with this past. So this is why there is no going back, and there is very important when things get to the stage to start to observe what is actually happening. Now imagine we are feeding and watering this flower, and at least we are feeding and watering this flower from our side, and things are not happening. Sometimes indeed what we observe is the more we contribute, the less viable relationship becomes. And it seems contradictory, because you feel, okay, I will just water and feed this flower some more times and it will blossom. But if other person is not forthcoming, or if the flower itself had a time, sometimes the flower itself had a time. Sometimes people need to fulfill a particular purpose together. No matter how sad it sounds, it just happens. And what we are then observing, we are observing a decline of the whole thing. And we are trying to hang on to the thing instead of just observing and acknowledging that actually this is what is. This is not what we want. This is not what other person wants, but this is what is happening. You start with the self, you start with the past, you start with your good intentions and great intentions in relationship, and doing all your personal work which is needed to extend to the other in an authentic way, while keeping your own integrity and your own values. And then you just observe, and at some point you acknowledge that things are the way they are.